Alright guys, what's going on? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and today we're gonna do the basics of Cinema 4D for graphic designers. Just making sure that my chat's open right now on YouTube and on Twitch as well. Yeah, let's just get started. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat, and yeah, I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. So, with Cinema 4D, assuming that you're a bit experienced in either Photoshop or Illustrator. We're gonna work in 3D now, and with both of those programs, you usually most of the time work in 2D space, which gives you an Y and an X and a Y axis basically, which is either up or down. You know, that's pretty logical, I guess. What's up, Akto? Well, in 3D space, let me show you. You have a Y-axis like this, goes up, and an X-axis, but also a Z-axis, which makes it 3D space, I guess. That's basically what the main difference is between 3D and 2D. But with 3D space also comes stuff like shadows. As you can see, if I rotate around this, you can see that there's different kinds of shadows around this. So this is one thing that you really have to take into account when you start to work with 3D, basically. The first live stream, as of now, we're gonna just try to do some artwork and guide you through the basics of this. As quickly as possible. But yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer them ASAP. So, you have two different kinds of main objects in Cinema 4D, which are objects and splines. And an object is something that's a 3D filled shape, I guess, like this cube, or like this sphere, or like this cylinder. And as you can see, you can grab these from your menu up in here at the top. So yeah, basically what this is these objects have three different kind of aspects. As in Illustrator, a shape has like anchor points and lines between them, and this one has a third one as well, which you kind of could compare with a fill. Let me show you what I mean. So this cube has vertices like these, and you can move these around. So these are basically like the anchor points of this object. Then you have the lines, which are these, which are basically like the lines in a shape in Illustrator. And then you have polygons, which are the surfaces of the object. So there's another object in Cinema 4D as well, which is called a spline. And a spline is basically the same as like lines in Illustrator, but splines also move in 3D space. So what I mean by that is, let me just grab the pen tool and go like this. So now we have, excuse me. So now we have this kind of line here, and as this kind of looks like it's 2D right now, but if we rotate around it, you can actually see. Oh, it's kind of still 2D, but let me just show you what I mean with this. You can actually grab these lines and move them into 3D space. So if you like move around them, you can see these from different like angles. There's also a menu here in the top here in the viewpoint, and it gives you a viewpoint of all directions. So this is a top view, a front view, and a right view. And as you can see, it's different in every from every angle, which makes it 3D. So let me see. So yeah, that's something that you really have to understand when you're working in 3D space, I guess. well, then let me show you how to navigate around this space. So we just went over this button, which will give you different multiple kinds of angles. And then you have these other buttons here. This one rotates your canvas. This one zooms in or out. And this one moves around. I actually tend to use shortcuts because I'm working on a laptop. While holding the number one on your number pad. And holding this moves it around. With 2, you zoom in and out. And with 3, you rotate around. So you can either use 1, 2, or 3 on your keyboard, or use these buttons here. So it's basically a really quick way of showing you how to navigate around this space. Well, then we went over models and splines, and then let's just go over materials real quick, because that's also another really important aspect, especially for graphic designers, in my opinion. So you have a cube here, and let's just say we want to make this cube, I don't know. Well, here at the bottom, there's a menu, which is the material menu. If you click on create new material, it'll pop up here. If you double click this, you'll get to the material editor menu, and you'll see this list down below. And these are all different kinds of attributes that you can give to a material in 3D space. What I mean by that is, in 3D space you have objects that emit light, like lamps or, I don't know, things that emit light. Then you have reflective surfaces like metal or chrome. And then you have transparent objects like water or glass. And then, hey guys, sup, Sihan and Hulk, I think. I'm not sure if I pronounced your names correctly, but welcome to the stream, man. Well, yeah, then there's some more stuff, like you can just give them a color as well. And those are the main like aspects to me. And then there's something else that's called glow, or this. Well, yeah, glow is something else than emitting light. But I'll go over that, I think, in another video. And then we have something else which is called displacement, and you might have known displacement from displacement maps in Photoshop. And these basically do the same thing. So what I mean by that is, let me just show you real quick because it's easier. If you put a displacement map here, and you give it kind of a texture. Now let's just give it a noise texture. And as you can see, like the white parts in here and the black parts are making this difference between getting it up or down, I guess. So I'm not going to use Octane for now. I tried to use it on a computer. So yeah, but basically, like, Octane Render is a render engine which gives you like these really cool, realistic features, but it's kind of hard to use, and it's quite expensive. So I'm trying to save up for it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to grab your hands on, I guess, as a student. So Hulk, I'm not sure what you mean with the model stages in blue. Yeah, could you elaborate on that? Because I'm not really sure what you mean. Anyway, with these displacements, the black parts in this noise texture are going up, and the white parts are going down. And applying this to this cube, I'll give a preview of it. Which, let me just make a sphere. Apply this. Well, I'm not really sure what's happening here. Oh, excuse me, my fault. We obviously need to apply this material, which you can do by dragging it in, but then I need to make this an editable object, which I'll go over later. And as you can kind of see now, when I'm zooming in, there's like some displacement going on in here. If you, yeah. Yeah, I'll go a bit better over displacement maps later. I'll definitely like save the tutorial after going live, because and you can watch it back if you're not being able to right now. But the live stream is I did it on purpose so you guys can actually ask me questions while I'm trying to teach you stuff. So yeah, here's the material menu, and you can create all kinds of different materials. So for example, a transparent something that's transparent, like this, or something that's super reflective, like this. So yeah, it gives you a ton of opportunities. So I see the chat is really going French right now. So then there's another thing that's really important, which is the camera. And you're actually using a camera, which I'll show you, which is like taking a video or a picture of the thing that you've been making in 3D. And why this is really important is because let's say I made like something here, and I want this part of the cube to be visible when I start rendering it, but I need to do some editing on the back here. Then I can just go around and change my viewport here, and while I can actually still save up this position of my camera. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, I guess. So Davix is asking, how can you make models symmetrical? It's actually quite simple. There's like Mograph editors, I think they're called, at the top here. And there's one called Symmetry. And let's just say I have a sphere here, I'll just drag it in here. And not really sure what's happening here, because there should be duplicating. Just a sec. Sorry guys, I really don't know what's going on here, because I'm still kind of new to Cinema 4D as well. I've been working with this for a year. But yeah, usually when I use this, you can drag an object in and it will get symmetrical. Let me just grab a project that I've been working on where this actually works so I can show you. So let's just dive into something that I made for a client a while ago. It's a video for Kirby Superpowers, which is like its English DJ. What's up, Visual Snow? All the way from Russia. Super sick, dude. How's life in Russia? Let me just grab my this client file. So, okay, so this one's a pretty big file, and I'll don't go over the details here. Super, thank you, man. Whoa, wait, are there 100 people watching right now? Damn, dude, that's like a new record for me. I think the last record was like 40 people. It's Portugal, India. It's super crazy, man. Oh, no worries, Nicholas. Thank you for checking it out, even for just a second. 100. What's happening right now? So yeah, let me just go over it. As you can see, there's a symmetry object right here, and I think this is a chain that's further back in the animation. So this will probably lag a while, but I think. Do you think someone's rating me? But because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're bots or how that's actually happening. I hope the algorithm likes me. Anyway, so there's this scorpion and a chain later on, I think. What's okay? So can someone like tell me what rating actually is? Because I think that's like when like a bigger streamer like dumps all his viewers into another like stream, I guess, right? Sorry, I'm getting so distracted by this. Anyway, so as you can see, there's these chains, and if I turn off this symmetry, it just flips it to the other side. So it's basically like a mirror effect on your object, I guess. So yeah, 200, dude. What's happening right now? Sup, Ferdinand? Yeah, sorry guys. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, there's some other effects in here, and the Mograph one that you're gonna use the most. All the way from Bolivia, man. What's up? So yeah, let's say we have the sphere, and the one you're gonna use the most is this cloner, I think, because I use it the most, I guess. So let's just drop the sphere in here, and yeah, the cloner basically explains itself. You can clone things, and let's say I want to make 6 or 8 balls rotating. Yeah, that's really easy to do with the cloner. So I'm from the Netherlands. Yeah, if you know about Illustrator and Photoshop, it's kind of gonna help because it's somewhat similar in the interface. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's actually. I think there's a lot of 3D like designers and stuff that haven't worked with Photoshop before. But I tend to combine both of them. I think like those are the kind of the basics. Then you have something else, which is like the preview settings. So if you want to see what your thing is going to look like when you render it, you can click on this one, the render view, which will give you like this cool quick preview thing. And then this one is actually starting to make your like actual scene rendering. And then you have the settings where you can so you can check like how many pixels you want your project to be, where you want to save it, in what format you want to save it, if you want it to be like transparent. This is a big one for me because I tend to make a render and then use it in Photoshop. I actually speak Dutch, so no, not Swiss or German. So where can I get more samples to work on acid graphics, mostly trying to design it for myself from scratch. So yeah, if you want to do something quick, yeah, the stream will, I'll save the stream and then I'll put it up on YouTube so you can watch it back later. So what I tend to do with trying to make assets in 3D is I make like a file. For example, I have like a chain file, and then I can just open the file in Cinema 4D, and I can just drag this chain in, and then like change the path of the chain, I guess. So I think that's kind of what you mean. Or something else that I have is I save up some 3D models like a skull, and then there's also like I save up some materials. So let's just say that the sphere is here, and then I have like this chrome material that I make myself. And then I can just quickly apply it. I don't have to make it every time. I guess it's kind of the same as like saving a layer style in Photoshop. Yeah, I didn't really go to design school, but I did. How'd you call it? I studied communications and multimedia design. So a great way to find 3D models is turbosquid.com, which is a website. I'll put it up in the chat right now. Which is kind of like a it's kind of like a website where you where other people like sell their 3D models, and it's for all kinds of different software. But yeah, there's also like a lot of Cinema 4D stuff, and some of it is free and some of it is paid. Like the higher the price, the better it is, obviously. So is Octane worth getting? I tend to feel like it's, if you really want to do 3D, then it's worth getting. But for like graphic designers, I think for most of the time you're fine with just Cinema 4D. But yeah, if you really want to like do actual like super detailed models, yeah, I would say go for Octane. So yeah, you know what I want to do, guys? I think most of you guys are into like this asset graphics vibe, so why don't we try to make some chrome materials? And I'm gonna try to show you some effects that you can recreate in Octane, or without Octane, basically. So, for example, so I have this skull. Let's just drag in this skull. So I have a folder on my laptop here with 3D models, and I have a scorpion, a skull, you know, just regular cool stuff. So there's this skull. Let's just rotate him so he looks right up. And I'm deleting the material, so this one won't have any material on it applied. So I'm gonna go and create a new material. And the important way, this is important before you start like actually working with these chrome stuff. So chrome is a reflective material, which means that in real life, in physics, reflective materials are you won't see reflective materials unless something shines upon that material. And I'll show you what I mean by that by just quickly making a material. And instead of going for a color and we're going to go for a reflectance, but this is just a normal reflectance, and I want to do this like metal thingy. So this is a free skull, actually. So let's just go, and this is like a layer menu. So if you go to layers here, this is default specular is basically what you see here, that like that white reflective spot. So if I add another one, let's just do reflection legacy. That's like this second layer. So the first layer is this one, second layer is this one. I have all these kind of menus things, and it looks super complicated, and I won't go into the details here because it's actually already a reflective model. And if we apply to this, let's just make this into one shape or one object. And when we apply this, you can actually see that the skull is being reflective. But if we go to the preview of our render, you won't see it. And this is because there's not anything in our scene besides our skull, which we can see here in the layer menu. That's like our skull won't reflect on anything, basically. So what we can do by that is, let me just show you. If I add another object here, like a sphere, let's just scale our skull up a bit. So here are the like objects, and you can this is the scale, the rotation, and the position. So you can just move them around like this as well. So you don't need to use these arrows. So that's nice if you want to have like clear numbers, like 200 centimeters back in this direction. Yeah, I'm actually want to work with Blender a bit more, so you guys can have a free alternative to working with 3D. So yeah. Anyway, so if I just put this in now, you can kind of see some like lines in here, which is the reflection of this. So what's happening here? Okay, this is visible, and this is only visible because it reflects this. So what you want to do with chrome materials or reflective materials, let's just add another object, which is a sky. And a sky object is basically everywhere around you, which is nice if you don't want to have if you want to have light emitting from all angles. Sky is a nice object for that. So let's just create a material. And for this material, I don't want to just have a color. I want to have it emit light. So this will actually start emitting red light. So if we drag this material under the sky here, and we go to the render view, you can kind of see it, but there's like a lot going on with our how'd you call it? The sky there itself is also there. So what we can do about that is we're going to go right click on the sky, Cinema 4D text, compositing, and I'm going to check off scene by camera, which makes the sky invisible to my camera, which is nice, so we can focus on skull. And now we can actually see our skull. But since our sky is only red, you can only see full on red. So what if we change the color to a gradient? And let's just make the gradient purple. And lime green, Dreadlabs colors. So yeah, now we have this gradient. And you can already see, if we go to the render view, you can see some more colors going on. Which is the reflection of the sky. So the sky is actually emitting the material and the light and the things that you're seeing, and the skull is only reflecting that. So the skull itself isn't emitting any light or whatsoever. So how do you get these realistic chrome materials? You'll make sure that you have a picture of something, a detailed picture. And these are called HDRI pictures or maps. And these are like these full-on like panorama-like pictures, for example, of a parking lot. And let's just open these. You can also find these on for free online. But yeah, now the texture is emitting this picture. So there's actually like a big lamp, which is the sky, and it's emitting this picture of this this parking lot. So this parking lot is basically like, which isn't the same as in real life. If I would be standing on this parking lot, there will be light all around me and I could see this. So what happens if we go to render view? Starting to look a bit more like a chrome material, I guess. So yeah, the first time I wanted to do Octane is when I saw that Octane has something called Iridescent materials, which is like these super cool. Let me just grab a texture for that. It's like these super high resolution colors and everything, like these, I guess, you know. And there's like a special material tag in Octane which makes this happen. But you can also fake it in Cinema 4D without using Octane, which we can do by using this. So we have this picture, right? And what we can do is we can actually start editing this picture. But we can also just drag in one of these textures. So let's just go to my textures. And grab one of these like iridescent materials like this. So now our sky is emitting this material. And now you can get these crazy like iridescent materials, which, I don't know, this is really what I wanted to learn when I started Cinema 4D, and also definitely when I wanted to do, and I thought it was only possible in Octane, basically. So the kind of Mac that I'm using is, I'm working on a MacBook Pro, I think from 2017. I'm not sure about the specs, so let me just show you on screen. So it's a 15-inch 2017 with a 3.21 gigahertz quad-core Intel i7, 16 gigabyte RAM. It was a pretty expensive laptop, but I'm actually starting to save up for a custom-made PC. But this is really nice if you want to be working on the go. So yeah, we have these materials applied to the sky and a skull which is reflective. But what we can also do is, let's just remove this reflective material, and let's just make another material here and have it emit light itself. So another thing which you can do is a Fresnel, and this is kind of like a gradient map, I guess, for 3D objects. So if I would make this green and this purple-ish, and I would apply it to my skull. Oh, whoops, that's the sky. You can see that the darker parts around there are kind of like glowing with green, and then the lighter it goes, I guess, with the highlights, the greener it goes, and the darker it goes, the more purple it becomes, which also can give for some cool textures. So yeah, guys, let me know what you want to learn in Cinema 4D, and I'll try to like explain it. And in the meanwhile, I'm just trying to go and make like something cool. So I have a preset for a chrome material, which is a bit more metal-like than the other one that I just made. And let's just make this into a super cool material. So there's this package from Black Market. I don't know if you guys know that. It's like this super cool like asset store, I guess, and they have like these shiny textures. So let me just drag one in, and this is now emitting the light, and it's like, because it looks so realistic, you can actually get some super cool materials with this. Like, this is not Octane or anything, you know, and it's just looks so cool already. Do you know how to morph shapes? Yeah, man, I know how to morph shapes, I guess. So something that we can do is, let me know if this is what you mean by morphing shapes, but let's just go to display and click on grow shading. Is it skyrocketing again? Damn, man. There's this all these different faces of this circle sphere. If I increase it and click on icosahedron, which makes these triangles, so they're equally divided, and I'll make these into 48, which makes it a bit more detailed. And now I'm going to go to this Deformers tab, which is kind of like also some kind of like layer styles, I guess. So there's something called the displacer, and if I hold shift, it will make this into a child. Has AI taken over my job? What do you mean by that? So yeah, and then there's we can add a shader of noise, and you can already see that it's kind of like starting to morph. So if we make it a bit more intense, like 40, and then it's kind of pointy right now, so I want to go and make a subdivision surface, which makes it a bit more soft. I don't know who was it who asked about the morphing. Is this a bit what you mean, or? Sorry, I think I had a question about opening Illustrator files, which is kind of an important thing, I guess, right? So let's just go and create something in Illustrator, and I'll show you how to import it into Cinema 4D, because someone in the chat is already explaining it. So I'll just show you to make it a bit more visual, I guess. And the Furless, I think, said, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. So for some reason in Cinema 4D you can only open Illustrator files which are like super old, in a super old file format. Which is a bit weird, but I'm not sure why that is. Anyway, while Illustrator is starting up, and I'll show you later, let me just show you something cool. So if you go to the shading tab from the displacer here, and we click on this noise, you can actually animate this noise. So if you wanted to do like some cool VFX stuff, let's just say we're gonna make it into where is it? Oh, make it a loop animation speed of 0.5. If we click on play now, it's actually starting to move. So if we make this material this, and I'll just do some quick rendering settings like PNG. Make this a bit lower because it's a tutorial and you don't want to wait for me like rendering all this stuff. So I'll make it a bit smaller and zoom in a bit like this. And I'm going to go to output and make sure that I'm saving all my frames. And now I'm going to click on render. And now it's going to render all these frames out. Could you try to transform the skull into something? Yeah, man. So I guess you wanted to learn how to make these, like I guess, the lines emit from his head, or the lines. What I mean, like the pipes or the tubes, I guess, because that's a whole other thing. It's a bit more for people who are a bit more experienced, but I can try to explain. Also, there's over 250 people here, and this is crazy, guys. I can't thank you enough. Like, the channel has been growing really fast in the last week, so I'm really happy that this is actually happening, and I hope you all enjoy your time on the channel here. There's actually also a challenge going on with Dreadlabs on Instagram. which is called Creatober. It's inspired by Inktober. You might have heard of it. And basically, I have a list of 31 creative prompts, and I challenge you to make something every day for the month of October, something cool. It doesn't matter if it's a drawing, a piece of music, a 3D render, a graphic design piece, anything that you like to do, something you would like to get better at, or something you just are comfortable with doing. Yeah, and you can make it. So the first day, yesterday was the word skull. So I made a 3D render of a skull, and I tried to model some claws with it. Or painting on jeans, exactly. There was someone who painted skulls on a skull on jeans, which was really cool. And then today the word was snake, and I modeled a snake. I'll post a time lapse of that tomorrow on YouTube. And then I think the word of tomorrow is dynamite. So if you have something cool to make with the word dynamite, go for it, I guess. But yeah, this is really all fun. And if you want to feel inspired, it's nice to have like a creative prompt list next to you if you don't know what to make, but you want to make something. And I find that it's like super fun to do. Anyway, let's just see what it looks like already. As you can see, it's kind of morphing around, and you can already create some fun things with these deformers in Cinema 4D. So in the meanwhile, let me just go to Illustrator, because I think it's finished loading. Yeah. So it's my laptop is kind of lagging right now, so I think I'm gonna stop rendering this. Oh wait, it's already responding. So yeah, let's just grab a 1000 by 1000 pixels file. So I really want to do Octane tutorials, but I'm not experienced enough to work with Octane myself as of now, so I don't want to give any misinformation on that, I guess. Anyway, so let's just make some cool shape in Illustrator, I guess. How I did create the warping text in the last post. Do you mean like the warp text from like my from like the skull artwork, or the warp text on the Cinema 4D announcement post? Okay, let me just create something cool in Illustrator real quick. Well, wait. So I'm gonna go grab the star tool. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna go to object, path, add anchor points, and I'm gonna go grab the outer ones. And rotate these around a bit, like this, and then I think we're gonna shrink it a bit in here. So I'm gonna go grab the scale tool. And I think we're gonna round it up with the inner anchor points. So grab all of these, then soften it up a bit, like so. And let's just make a hole in the middle, and I'm gonna punch that out real quick. Alright, so now we have this shape. Do I prefer Mac over Windows? Well, once I started working with this laptop, I used to have like a really shitty laptop which was on Windows. But yeah, I like the Mac interface a bit better, and it's working a bit quicker because I also use iPhone and an iPad with Procreate. So for me that works, but I guess if I would go back to Windows now, I wouldn't really be bothered, I guess. Anyway, so if you want to use this for Cinema 4D, you go to Save As, and you're going to name your file. So let me just make a folder for this tutorial, or this video. Shape. Okay, so before you actually click on enter in this, because you mostly like do this already all the time, You go to version Illustrator 8 and then click OK. And you get some warning and then it's all good. So for now, let's just go to our folder where we saved the file. Go to Livestream 4 and we can just drag this into Cinema 4D and it gives you like an option. And now we have a object which we made in Illustrator in Cinema 4D. And for some reason, like the coordinates get kind of weird when you import them, so I tend to also immediately go to 0.0, zoom out a bit, so now it's in the center of our project. So what you want to do now is, as we discussed earlier in the video, this is a spline, so there's not a fill like in, for example, this cube. We have like the faces of this cube, they're called polygons, and these are only lines and vertices. So what you want to do is you go to extrude here and hold Alt or Option, and this will make this apparent. And now it's actually starting to become an actual shape. Yeah, I guess it's harder to get some cracks. Also, I would really like to be able to pay for them. So I don't really want to promote like downloading illegal software, I guess. So yeah, guys, if you have any suggestions, something you want to learn in Cinema 4D, if you're new to this, please let me know and I'll try to explain it to you. So let's say we want to make this into like a cool chrome wheel, whatever. We're going to go to Object, which is like the main tab of this, what's it called, of the extrude here. And I want to make the actual line a bit thinner, like 0.1. So, and then I want to make these sharp edges, which you can do under the tab Caps, and you go to Fillet Cap. And I'm going to do it on both sides, so it's on the front and the back. There's like this sharp edge, I guess. There's also an option to, because I don't know if you saw, but it makes it bigger as well, as you can see. So you can actually fix it by clicking on Constrain, but sometimes this will get some wacky results that you don't want to, so I tend to leave this open. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we have this shape in Illustrator that we made in Illustrator. So what we can do with it is we can go to Cloner, make this a child of the cloner again, and then I don't know, make a radial cloner like this. And the cool thing is now you can, if you want to animate it, you can let's see, this is this axis. So what you're gonna do is we have 90 frames in here, as you can see in the timeline. On the first frame here, I'm gonna go and click this like little light and it turns red. And I'm gonna go to this button and it'll go to the final frame, which is frame 90. And I'm gonna let it spin 360 degrees. And once I enter that, this turns orange, and if you click on it, it turns red. And you see like this square appearing here, which means you have set a keyframe. And as you can see, I made a quick little animation now. And as you can see, there's some weird thing going on with the easing. So what you can do is you can go right click on here, animation, show F-curve. And you can see that there's like an ease going on in here, and we don't really want that, so we can click on linear here, which will make this linear. And as this plays now, it actually looks a bit more like machine-like, I guess. Anyway, I remember someone having a question. Oh, the warping text, sorry. So let's just make a new file. There's a text tool in Cinema 4D as well. It's under Mograph, and you click on Mo Text, and then you go to Object. Sorry guys, my laptop sometimes is a bit slow. I guess it's because it's recording, and there's also 3D software open. Yeah, it's sometimes a bit hard. So yeah, let's just go and type Dreadlabs. And this will maybe take a while, and then align this to the middle. Grab a cool font. So I'm really not sure. So I just got I'm also like live streaming on Twitch, but it's kind of empty there because most of the people are on YouTube. But I also got a spam comment on Twitch. So I'm not sure if the people watching on YouTube are also like bots or something, or are they just like real people? I'm really not sure. So let's just scroll to Nimbus Sans, which is like the main font for Dreadlabs. And then go to black. Make it a bit smaller so it's more in our screen. So yeah, this is the text, and something cool that you can do is, wait, let me just, so if you want to edit this, you can click on here, which makes this editable. And now you can't edit the text anymore, but this is like a full-on, what do you call it? Like object now. So I'm gonna connect them and delete them. So I have one object here with Dreadlabs. If you would still want to edit the text, I wouldn't recommend this, but this is just for the sake of the tutorial. Did I do some artwork for Birdcope? Actually, no, I don't know who that is. So yeah, that wasn't me. Anyway, there's this Deformers tab, and we have something called a twist. And let's just leave the twist here. And if we go to angle, you can actually see what the twist is doing. So let's just make it 180 degrees. So this will turn 180 degrees. Well, we want to rotate the text in the length. So what we want to do is we're going to go to coordinates and then tumble this to the side 19 degrees. And then in object, we're going to go make it a bit like smaller on in this axis, a bit bigger like this, and a bit bigger like this. So what you mainly want is this to fit in a bit better. So, and you can also use the option fit to parent if this is what you want, but then you have to make this a child. Let me just make it a child and see what happens. And as you can see, it's rotating. So if we fit this to parent, you can see what's happening. Oh, that's actually super cool. Thanks, Max. It really means a lot that there are so many people watching. I've never expected this to be this big. Like the last time I streamed, it was 40 people, and the time before that, I think it was like 15. So yeah, I think 300 now. I'm just speechless, man. Anyway, so yeah, we have this twist, and if we turn it off, you can see this is what the purple box is basically what's happening to my text. Then there's something called bend, which we can also do. Let's just turn this one off. And if we make this apparent, well, this will kind of look wacky, but yeah. There's these deformers are mainly like how you can do some really cool stuff with the text and stuff. So what I did with the announcement tutorial, I added a camera, and I made sure in the coordinates that my camera was like actual on the x-axis, on the y-axis, and like minus 750 to the back. And I'll show you what that looks like. So the camera is just looking at this, and then I'll do the rotations to 0 degrees. If you look at it from here, you can see that this is like super right lined, I guess. And then what you can do is we'll kind of rotate this, but it's a bit weird. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to tools, modes, enable axis, and you can see that this is turning blue right now. And what this does is I can now move my axis thing, but without moving my object. So what this is gonna do is if I put this up and then I turn this off again and I start to rotate it, it's actually rotating around this middle axis instead of from the ground up, which I want because then I can rotate it like this. So I think you can also center it, but I'm not sure. So let's go to axis center here, because yeah, now it's centered to to my text here. And now if I want to make an animation, let's just make it 119 frames. So it goes from 0 to 119, which is 120 frames. With 30 FPS, that's 4 seconds. So click on this button, go to the end, to this frame, and turn it to 360. And make this orange red. And now it's actually rotating. So here again, you can go to right click animation, show F curve. And, oh, oops, I need to do that again properly. And you can see this curve, and I don't want that, I want it to be linear. So, like this. And now it's like normally rotating around itself. And now, let's just do some cool materials so we can actually start using this for Instagram, for example. So I'm gonna load a material preset from a chrome material that I made before. This is really easy. I followed a tutorial from Fatu Tutorials. He's also a YouTuber, and he does some really cool stuff as well. And he has a lot of Cinema 4D tutorials, so I learned a lot when I started out. So yeah, I would recommend checking some of his tutorials out, following them step by step. And kind of like by doing, I start learning what I was actually doing. So now we have a chrome text. And like we had earlier in the tutorial, we also need a sky material. So I have a sky preset, which is basically a material that's illuminating with a picture of a desert. And I'm gonna go and grab a sky object, dragging this light emitting material, and going to Cinema 4D text, compositing scene by camera, turning it off. So now we have this reflecting material. Sorry. I'll just put this name in the chat. So yeah, then we go double click on the luminance, and let's say we want to have some like cool iridescent colors, but yeah, you know, we also want the details that this desert is providing, you know. So what we can do is you go to texture and then on layer, and then if you click on layer, you can actually add multiple images or multiple effects. So I'm gonna click on image, and I'm gonna drag in one of these shiny rectangles, and I'm gonna give it a screen, well, maybe a color. So yeah, you can use blend modes just like in Photoshop or in Illustrator, and as you can see, you still have the picture but also the colors on this. So you can actually start getting some detail in. So something else that would be cool is, I'll show you something else. So let's just make this one invisible, which you can do by clicking this little icon here. And then we go to, I'll show you another way how to make a bit more complicated shapes. So let's just grab a arc, which is a spline. So this is just a line. You can see this in your render view. And let's just make it a bit more random. So a bit longer. Like this. And now I'm gonna go grab a twist, which I'm gonna put on here, and I'm just gonna go out of my camera for now, so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna make it invisible so I can actually show to you guys what I'm doing. So with the twist selected, I'm gonna click fit to parent, and now the twist is actually on this spline, and as you can see, it's 2D. Anyway, if I click on angle here, you can actually see that I'm starting to distort this line, which is super cool to me, because then you don't have to like draw the line out in the three-dimensional directions. So yeah, now we have our direction line. Let's just call it like that. What if we want to give this line some body? So what we can do is we're gonna go to circle and make the circle a bit smaller, like 10 centimeters. Well, let's do 25. So let's just say we want a thickness of this circle around this path. So what you can do is you can go to here and then click on sweep, and then dragging these two, dragging them in this sweep. And as you can see, we now have a a bit more complicated shape, I guess. So what we can do is let's just decrease this length a bit, maybe. And this kind of looks a bit chunky, so I can this circle that we had with a 25 centimeter radius, let's just make it 10, so it's a bit more smaller. And I want to have both of the ends start at like a small point, so it's a bit more sharp. So if we go to sweep and to details, and I'm gonna go hold command on my Mac, and which is probably control on Windows, and there's a point in here on the scale tab, and now we can drag the outer ends into here like so. And I'm gonna play a bit around with these handles a bit, and this is basically playing here but looking here. So yeah, now we have this this like kind of wacky line thing, and let's just make it a reflective material as well. And as you can see now, you have the text and we have this thing. As you can see, it's kind of wonky here, so let's see if we can try to fix that. We can just subdivide it and upping this angle, which should fix it a bit better. Yeah, it looks a bit better already. So yeah, because of the text is kind of like how'd you say? It's a bit blocky, as you can see. Compared to like the line here, you get a bit more detail in these like fluid shapes, I guess, fluid objects, if that makes sense. So yeah, I try to combine both of them so you can actually give the 3D feel even if you're using this blocky font, for example. So let's just grab this sweep, maybe like rotate it in a bit so we can rotate a bit around the text, I guess. So maybe like this. So also, if I want to move this and I want to move it along the actual lines of the world, I can click on here and watch the arrows here. Now I can actually move it along the actual world axis instead of like the object axis, which is also a nice thing, I guess. Now I'm gonna put this into a cloner, which we can find under Mograph cloner, and while holding Alt Option with our sweep selected here, mix it into a child, and then I'm gonna go. I don't want this to go up. I want this to go. Where do I want this to go? Oh right, I'm thinking why is this going that direction, but that's because it's rotating here. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go click on this, current state to object, and I'm gonna click on the red lights in here. So this won't be visible in our editor and in our render. And I'm gonna go right click, connect objects plus delete, which makes this into an actual object, which we'll call line. You know what? I'm gonna go grab this cloner and put it in the middle, and I'm gonna go then rotate this line a bit. So, all right. So if you have a cloner on your object, you actually have to do that here, I think. Yeah. So let's see if we can get a good angle on this. Ooh, this could be cool. Okay, so now we go to object and we put the mode to radial. Yeah. Okay, now I want to go and copy these. Let's just reset these for a minute, and then see what's actually happening here. And let's make my camera invisible in the editor, so it's a bit better to Okay, up the radius here. Okay, so the weird thing is it says there are 9 clones. And I'm only seeing 4. Let's see. Is it because of this one? Ah, right. So, okay, I need to remove this sweep. So there's the line here, and now we have a cool radial shape. Yeah, of this thing here. So if you want to move these individually, so you have these coordinates, and then you can rotate these like this. But let's say you want to rotate these in their own axis, you can do it in transform. So like this. And we already had that like animation of our text. So what we want to do is we're going to click these, all of them, and go to our last frame with this button, and give them all a 360-degree spin. And click on them, so they will turn red. And I'm gonna go click all of them, go to animation, show F curve, select Ctrl A, so select all of them and making the lines uniform or linear. And I've played this. You can get some super cool trippy animations in 3D space. So this is kind of how I made the social media post of this this introduction class. So yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions, because I'm here to answer them, and you're here on the live stream now, so I can immediately answer them. If you have any questions after the stream, you can join us on Discord, which will be in the description. You can find it on the channel. You can just go to dreadlabs.net/discord, and it will link you to the server. And on there I can help you, or other people can help you with your problems, or if you need feedback on your work, or if you just want to network with some people, you can just go there. So yeah, let's see if we can do something else here. What if we made a plastic material for the text here, so we can have these chrome and then the text can be in plastic. So we'll grab a material, and we don't want to have this to have a fill color. We want it to be transparent, and as you can see, you can kind of not see anything. So what I do is I think refraction is like the thickness of the glass, I think, something like that. So what I do, I tend to click on plexiglass because it's kind of thick. But yeah, I recommend you do like experiment with these a bit and see what works best for you. And then we want to give it some wacky colors, so let's go to texture and load in a cool image. And I tend to use like these textures because they are full of color, instead of like going just with one color, I guess. So if you look at this, you know, it kind of looks like it's already like a marble or something. But if we go and click on this button again, and then we'll go to layer. Hi, Maybe Games. And then we'll go to layer. So let's just say we want to have different colors than this. Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess you're new to the channel. Welcome. Nice to see that I'm actually in the recommended section on YouTube. It really helps me out a lot. So yeah, we have our layer menu here, and instead of grabbing another image, we can also go to Effect and go to Use Saturation. How I made my channel banner? Do you mean like the skull and the one face is a skull and the other one is a human? Do you mean that, Devix? So yeah, if we play with the U here, we can try to get some other colors. I'm not making a game. I'm actually doing some graphic design. So I'm working with Cinema 4D, and this is mainly to teach graphic designers how to use 3D software. Yeah. Let's just see. This kind of looks cool. So yeah, have you already made? Yeah, I can do. I haven't done any tutorial on it yet, but I have a video on where I do a album cover for Tim Tama, and it's kind of a similar process. So I have a 3D render, and I did some effects in Photoshop on them, which gave me that result. And then I did some tribal shapes as well, which is also in a tutorial on the channel. So yeah. So if we apply this to our text, like this, You can kind of see that this is already starting to go transparent, so let's see what that looks like in the render view. Oh, I like the look of that. Looks like candy almost. If you ever work with some render mode like Octane, I've worked with Octane a few times, but I'm not really good at it because I haven't had the time to start like exploring how it works. But I actually I'm graduating in January, and then I'm planning on buying or a subscription to Octane to start working with it, exploring it, and hopefully teach you guys a bit on how Octane works and the cool stuff you can do with it. So yeah, I really like how this is working out so far. So let's say we want to have some other object in the back. So another cool feature is you can also have like presets of splines. And what that means is, for example, the cogwheel here, which is KOG. Don't monetize me, YouTube. So let's go to the teeth and click on ratchet, and you can have a cool like a saw tooth kind of saw blade kind of thing. Maybe add some holes in here like this. So yeah, this is still a spline like we discussed earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to extrude, put the cogwheel in there, and maybe move to the back a bit. And then in the extrude, I'm going to go make this 0.1, go to caps, make these into a fillet cap. And in the back, you can see, you have a quick saw blade kind of shape. So all of my graphic design skills, Cinema 4D skills, stuff like that, I all learned through YouTube and through practice. Because my study, like, I need to do design or coding for my studies, for example, for my college, but they they expect you to learn it yourself. So basically, they give you like fundamental stuff, like how to make a visual, what visual hierarchy is, or stuff like that, and then the actual how Photoshop works, you need to figure out yourself. And I'm just really interested in that, so that's what I like to focus on. And I also really like teaching other people, which made me come up with this channel. So I'm gonna go delete this for now, and I want to go back to this sphere thing that we had earlier in the video. And then I'm gonna go up the segments. So what these segments are is, if I go to here, and I'll make these into icosahedron. Just make these invisible for now, so you won't get distracted by all the other stuff around it. So the segments here, there's 24 segments here, it says. What you want to do if you want, I want to distort this later, so we're gonna go use a displacer and add a noise and up this to 40, and watch what happens when I up the segments. So let's just go 24 times 4. You get so much more detail in your models. So yeah, I really recommend going with more segments if you want to do more detailed rendering, especially when you're working with stuff like displacement maps. So let's just change the noise here. So if you go into this noise tab and click on noise, let's see what's here. Electric. Cool. And then I guess I want to go and make a subdivision surface to this. That kind of looks alright. And then let's just make a new material. And should we have this one emit light? Yeah. So we'll go to luminance, and then we'll go to Fresnel. And I want to let you guys pick the color. So yeah, what color should I make this thing? Maybe go with Dreadlabs colors, like a neon green and a like cool purple. If any other ideas, please let me know. Like this. Maybe a third color, like cyan or something, or mint. Bit like this. Red, purple. Ooh. Orange and purple. Well, let's just orange and red, purple then. Okay. So this. I think you mean like a bit like this, red, purple. And then orange. So orange one, like this. It actually looks cool. So let's just go to display and click on grow shading, so it's a bit less like this. Okay. So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna do another one with pink and blue as well, because Sam said it. So let's just copy this one and paste it, and then copy the material, and then go to pink and blue. Like this, I think. And then we're gonna drop it onto this one, and then we're gonna go to this displacer and do object, and make this one even higher, like this, and then maybe like another seed. So if we go to I think it's here, right? Should be like a seed button. Not sure why that it's not editable. Anyway, let's just make everything visible again and see what happens. So I want to go and grab these, both like these stars, and move them a bit to the back. So let's just go out to the camera for a second and don't have them interrupt with the text like this. And go back into the camera again. And I do want to have this 10 centimeters down, so it actually is aligning on the horizon. And I think we need to have it at -25 or something. Well, this is fine. So yeah, let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's actually really cool, and I'm not sure if you guys can actually see it, but I think like these more like highlights are also like the reflections of this star that we just made. So yeah, the more objects you bring into a scene where there's like reflective material, the more details you're gonna get and the cooler it's gonna look. So yeah, let's see, we're at an hour and 20 minutes in right now. Yeah, let's just continue. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions regarding Cinema 4D for graphic designers, please let me know. Let's just go and make another scene, and I'm gonna show you real quick how I did something similar to my channel banner. So I'm gonna grab some 3D models that I downloaded for free, like this. I think it's this male head. And then there's the skull again, which is here. Oh, you didn't choose shit colors. I actually like them. So yeah, if we grab the skull. And then grab the male head, like this. And now I want to make sure, I'm going to delete the materials for them, because we don't need them. And now I want to make sure that they're kind of the same size, and in the same place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this here, and now we can see them from all sides. So let's just zoom in. And now I'm gonna go lower this a bit and scale it up, move it down, a little bit to the back, like this. I think we should be fine now. So then, okay, so let's just make this, rename this to head, and this to skull, and make the skull invisible for now, and we're gonna work with the head. So let's just open this again. And so what I want to do is I want to remove the half of his head, I guess. So with the selection tool, I'm going to go to the rectangle selection, and then I'm going to go to the front view here. And then click on these vertex. I think they're vertex, right? Oh, points, just points. And select them like this, and just delete them. And as you can see on the like half of the head is gone now. So I'm gonna make it invisible, and I'm gonna do the same for the skull. So there's a lot more points than I'm seeing now, so it might take a while longer to delete them. So you want to have. So what do you want to learn in Cinema 4D or Blender or Camera OP? So yeah, now we have like a 50% head, 50% face, and as you can see, it's a little bit lined up, a bit wacky, like this. Should be fine. All right. Yeah. So what I did now is I just went into camera and made sure the camera was exactly in the middle, like this, and then I rendered it out. Like this, and then well, I made sure that these would connect a bit better in Photoshop, I guess. So yeah, let's see what we can do. I'm not sure if there's like another thing like in basic Cinema 4D class that I could teach you guys. But if you guys are okay with me bringing this into Photoshop, then I could show you how I did the banner. But if you guys want me to continue in Cinema 4D, please let me know, because yeah, I took the time to reserve this space for Cinema 4D, so I don't want to bring this all into Photoshop if you guys don't want to. But if you guys are okay with it, just let me know. So what we can do in the meantime is create a material, go to reflectance, and add a reflection legacy. But then we don't want to make this metal, but we want to lower the reflection strength, which will make it a bit more of a glossy material. And then just make a sky, grab a, well, go on the new material, and then go to turn off reflectance and turn off color, and then go to luminance. And you don't have to have these what do you call them, you don't need to have these HDRIs. So what I also have here is just a picture that I found on Google. Sorry that I'm showing this without giving credit to the original artist, because I don't really remember, but I'll try to put it in the description once the stream is finished. But yeah, if I open this image, then and I give this to the material to the sky, then let me just show what happens. You can use this as a reflective material as well. So let's up the reflection strength a bit. Oops. Right, Sam. That's actually my point a bit, because when I started out, I saw a lot of cool designers on Instagram, and some people were a bit secretive about their ways, so I tried to learn it myself and then like show it to other people, I guess. So yeah, I like how you're you feel the same way if you scroll through Instagram. You see all these cool designers. I just want to learn how you do it. That's my take on this as well. That's why I started learning this to myself. And Anyway, yeah. So a cool thing is you can actually make something cool in Photoshop, like a texture, and then, for example, put your own name in the texture, and then use this as a material. And then you can see, for example, your own name in the reflection. That would be kind of cool, I guess. So maybe let's just do that and see what that would look like. So yeah, I just updated my Photoshop, so it might take a while to load. So yeah, guys, there's Era, what do you mean with where the texture? Yeah, breaking the barrier. There's I wouldn't say that I'm super like on the same level as some of these designers that I've been following. But yeah, it's cool to kind of like explore how they did certain things, and then sharing it with you guys. But did I do the video for the Psycho Boys Club virtual zone? So actually no, I did the announcement visual. So the Instagram post where the kind of the poster with the date on it, and then I did a lot of visuals for Psycho Boys Club, but I didn't do it on my own. So I think the main visuals are done by two other guys, Izzy, VNGNC, I think he's called on Instagram. And the other guy, I don't know his name, sorry, but I'll try to send it to you. Or if you ask me on Discord, I'll try to send the guys who made it. But I did some like concept visuals, and then they're a lot better in 3D graphics than I am. So I did some concept graphics, and then they made them into like this super cool, crazy, even better virtual visuals that you can see in the virtual set. Did I ever make a car? So now I worked with a car before. I made like an artwork. Let me see if I can find it. So there was this cover artwork that I did for Sesko and Kirby. Wait, let me just show you on Instagram. That's maybe a bit easier. So, but I didn't make the car, but I used it for an artwork. So my personal Instagram is this one. I'll just drag it into the screen. And let's see if it's still there. Yeah. So here's a kind of a process video, and this car is an actually 3D model with some pictures added to it. So this is a combination of Cinema 4D and Photoshop. And I've been working in Cinema 4D since I think last year, August or July, something like that. So around a year now, a bit longer. So this is when I started working with this car as a 3D model. So that's the actually only time that I work with a car in Cinema 4D. Anyway, let's just open a file, and then I'm gonna go grab a street texture from Black Market. For example, this one. I'll send you the Discord link. So if we drag this into Photoshop, and let's just say oh, that's super cool, William. Nice to have you join. I hope you have some fun on the Discord. If any questions, please let me know and I'll try to help you out. So let's just do a some kind of text. So let's just type Dreadlabs. And make this into a cooler font. And let's scale it up a bit. And now we're going to distort this a bit with a filter, distort displace. Convert it to smart object. Click OK. Gonna grab in some displacement maps. If you want to know about displacement maps, by the way, there's a tutorial on my channel. It's not really the point of this this live stream, so I'm not gonna go over it as detailed. But yeah, it just makes this a bit better, a bit more realistic. So I'm gonna go and do a box blur around it as well of 2 pixels, and then blend it in with the background while holding Alt Option and dragging this slider in. This one, I mean, like this. Okay, so let's just say we have this, and then I'll save this as a texture. So I'm gonna go and if we go back into Cinema 4D, go into this material with the the Tokyo picture, and we'll load in the image that we just made. It's a bit hard to see, but you can try it. I'm gonna try to rotate it a bit better. As you can see, it kind of. You can kind of see it in the reflection, I guess. You see what I mean? So yeah, if you want to have like a custom like reflections in your artwork, you can kind of see like dread going over the forehead here. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, you could do some really cool like subtle details. So if you want to show your like your artist tag or your own like yeah, your signature or something, you can use it like that, and then you have some like customized reflections where you have like yeah, you can show your own like creativity instead of just using a an HDRI map. So yeah. Anyway, let's just render this. So just go to the render settings, and I'll make this into a 3000 by 3000 because that's what I usually work in, like with cover artworks and stuff. Then make it into a PNG with an alpha channel, so it will be transparent once we render it. And then I'll make sure that it will render to my live stream folder. And then, as someone in the chat already pointed out, you have 2 effects called ambient occlusion, where we can up the samples, and global illumination, where we can go up the samples to high, which will give you a better, it will render your stuff in a better quality, I guess. More samples means like a higher quality, I guess. So, now, well, let's just render this. It will probably take a little while, but then we can use it and drag it into Photoshop, and I'll show you how I did it, how I made it with the channel banner. So yeah, what's been going on, guys? How's your Friday night going? It's taking quite a while, so I might. As you can see with the global illumination, you get some really good details out of here. So, and that's the cool thing about this reflection, because you can already see the texture. So, the more detailed your picture is going to be with, like, for example, what we could have done is we could have done all kinds of colorful graffiti on this like wall, do different, like, I don't know, maybe 12 different kinds of fonts with 12 different colors, something like that. And then we could use it into this as a texture into Cinema 4D, and you would see all this colorful graffiti in the reflection of this skull and this face. So yeah, that could be really cool. And then and make it a bit more personal, I guess. But yeah, I guess it takes a while. Perfectly chopped. How do you reach out to labels to make cover artworks? Well, most of the times I work with artists where I guess the labels come up to me instead. Okay, so someone's been saying worst life in the world. I guess if you don't like this, no problem. Anyway, how I reach out to work with labels is I usually work with artists themselves, and then when the artists start liking it, then I can like the labels. They like the artists come up to me, and then I make the artwork for them, and then they hand it over to the label, and then that's how some labels like Musical Freedom saw my work and reached out to me and asked me if I could do some more artworks for them. So yeah, that's basically how I try to work. So the best way to get more clients is word of mouth, I guess, at least for me. And then with word of mouth and having a nice portfolio on Instagram, and having it easy accessible to other people that be able to see your work through Instagram or Facebook or whatever. That's basically the easiest way to reach new clients, I guess, and in my case also labels. So if Dreadlabs is no, Dreadlabs is actually not my full-time job. It's a side project, I guess, because I'm still a student, and then I'm freelancing on the side, and then Dreadlabs is something that I really wanted to set up. So can I okay, so I tried to hide the message by the spammer with the who said the words live in the world thing. I think it's now banned, right? Sorry guys, I'm kind of still new to live streaming and everything, so I need to learn as I go. Sorry guys, it was a bit odd, right? So sorry, what was it talking about? Someone asked. Oh yeah, the full-time job. So yeah, Dreadlabs is it's like a part-time thing. So it's still business related. So I earn money with the web shop and the assets that I sell, but it's all time invested. So I didn't really invest any money in it, only time. The same goes for the tutorials, and I really hope to become YouTube partner by the end of this year, so I can start monetizing the videos, so I can earn a bit more from that as well. How do I organize mag tags? Yeah, I'm a student. So you mean like with the color? So all my reds are Dreadlabs. These are my active clients, and these are my resources, and then these are practicing and school. How do you manage your time with college, Dreadlabs, and freelancing? Thanks, Alex. So yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes. So I try to produce bulk content for Dreadlabs when I'm kind of low on freelance work. So for example, for 1 week I'm working a lot with clients, and then the other week I need to wait for clients to respond, and then I start recording a bit more videos and artworks and stuff that I can use for Dreadlabs. So yeah, I try to balance them, and then there's also because of COVID, I need to study from home, so college is from my own home, which is actually convenient for me because then I can do all the things at the same time. Cool. So Ira, what do you mean with which freelance? Yeah. So Sian, how you export an Illustrator? You go to you make a file, right? And then you make sure that the things are all flattened, and then you just go to Save As, and then don't save it as an Illustrator 2020 file, but save it as a Illustrator 8 file. So I did it a while back in the stream, but I'll try to make it as a highlight, so it's a separate video for YouTube, so you can just look it up a bit easier. For now, I'm just gonna go and drag the head in. And then go and add a gradient map to it. Oh, okay. So when I export for Instagram, sorry. I think I go to with a size of 1080 by 1080. I'll show you in a minute. But I have it from my friend Nikok's collection. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram. He's like a really cool Instagram expert. But I think he said that you have to because Instagram compresses everything. I think you need to export it to 550 to 550 if you want to do a square. So like this. Just drag it in so you have a bit more contrast. Oh, this is actually also really cool if you do it negatively. It's on Instagram. So this guy, he's like a social media expert. He works for like a lot of big clients or all around the world. And this dude knows everything about social media. Like I tried to follow some of his tips with the Dreadlabs account last week, and I gained like 150 followers in the first week, and I reached like 5,000 accounts. So yeah, he really knows what he's talking about. I think he also reached like 15,000 followers in a few months. With virtually nothing. Like he didn't even promote anything, which is crazy. And I'm actually also bringing him as a guest on a podcast soon, so he can actually give him some tips in English in a video format. So yeah. Okay, maybe we should. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that like this, a bit more like so. Okay, let's just say I want to export this to Instagram. Go to File, Export, Export As. So how I usually do it is then we go to here and then I go to the 1080. And as Instagram, I think they use a JPEG, so I will go to JPEG already. Otherwise, Instagram will convert it, and once Instagram starts converting it, I think the file will be compressed. And then I go to nearest neighbor. And if this is above 1 MB, you can drop the quality until it's until it's under 1 megabytes, because then otherwise Instagram will compress it as well. So when you use save as, same problem I guess. Then you don't really like calculate how big your file will be. And then if you post it on Instagram, Instagram can like make the quality a bit worse. So if you like try to compress it yourself, Instagram won't have to do it for you. Right, so the thermal thing, I can show you that. So I actually have a free layer style pack. Let me see if I can find it. It's actually on the YouTube channel as well and in the web shop. Let's see. And there's this layer style, the bottom one, and we can just copy the layer style, and I'll just show you how it works later. And paste it in, and it doesn't look anything like it, but I think if you do overlay or lighten hue, maybe no. Okay, so the way to do this in 3D, do you want to learn how to do it in 3D or in Photoshop? Because you can kind of do it with gradient maps as well, yeah. So I'll just show you how it's done in like with the text. So basically this is an inner glow, which is a layer style. And instead of using one color, you just use a gradient of multiple colors, which are rainbow-like. And the same goes for in Cinema 4D. I'll just show you what it looks like. So I'll make a new material, and instead of going to normal color, I'm going to go click on this drop down menu at texture and click on Fresnel, and I go to make a red one, then a yellow one, green one, cyan, or a bit more blue, a bit more dark bluish, purple, and then like red again, I guess. Oh. So now we've got some kind of rainbow, and if we apply that to our head, I think this is kind of what you mean, right? Like these, like heat map kind of thing. So yeah, in 3D that's pretty easy to do if you use a Fresnel. And let me show you how to do it in how to do it in Photoshop. So if we use a gradient map, and we can click on a rainbow one. Yeah, then you already see there's something going on, but then we'll put a curves beneath there so we can increase the contrast a bit. Well, wait. So I want to make this a bit more, like bring this in a bit more. Yeah, you can kind of see that it depends on how which colors you use in your gradient map. And you can actually, you can do like an infrared. Wait, let me look up. So yeah, infrared is like, I think, black, and then like purple, like dark purple, like this, and then like red, and then I think yellow, right? So, and this kind of looks weird with the skull. But that's probably because of this. Yeah, there's like this is a bit of a problem because, you know, as you can see, it's so gray, this render. So let me just grab a render that I did beforehand, so to give you like a better idea. So where did I use a render? Ooh, I have one. So I did. There's this hardstyle DJ called Criminal, and he made a song remix for Ricky West. And Ricky West is also a good friend of mine. And he has a song about Henry the Hoover, Henry the vacuum cleaner. You all know him. So yeah, let's just make an infrared vision on him to make. As you can see, like this. Just bring in the purple a bit more. And I'll probably like add some noise filter, like you go here and then go to shift backspace, so 50% gray fill, and go to filter. What's up, Julian? How are you? If you add noise, like 25%, then go and click on like overlay. And then you can have a kind of like an infrared vision effect, I guess. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you want to like edit them later, what I would do is you can select the gradient map and your like render or your subject, and I go to right click, convert to smart object, and then I can go and add like a displacement map, for example. So distort displace. Yeah, and drag in like a displacement map here. Bam. So yeah. Yeah, so guys, if you heard this song, I would really be cool if you check it out. It's the Henry EP by Ricky West and remixes. It's a really fun EP, and he actually made the song while using a vacuum cleaner. So like it's this really massive dubstep song, and like the main lead is actually that vacuum cleaner, which is really funny. Anyway, so yeah, this is a bit more of a heat map with a bit more detail. So if we go and remove some of the colors here, so I think green we can get rid of these, and then they make this into black or dark gray. I think we should rotate it, right? So change these around like so. Yeah, it looks a bit more heat map like, right? Maybe if we drag this in a bit better, like this. Should be a bit more saturated, I guess. What's up? You're my... I'm not gonna say that word, little kitten. Yeah, baby. Dude, I'm so scared that if I say like a swear word, I'm gonna get like demonetized or something, man. I don't want that to happen, man. Anyway, so yeah, maybe like a bit more of a gray, like this. Yeah, like this. So it's pretty easy to to do within Cinema 4D. So yeah, guys, if you anything you want to know about Cinema 4D, let me know and I'll try to show it to you. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna try to do some cool art with like some deformers. So yeah, the stream will be saved. I'm gonna check if I can actually put it on, let it stay on YouTube, and otherwise I'm recording it as well, and then otherwise I'm just gonna re-upload it to YouTube later on. So yeah, you can definitely, you will definitely be able to watch it back. Let's just show you some modeling real quick. So we have this cube, and I'm gonna go to Display, Grow Shading Lines. I don't really see anything changing yet, but if I go to Object and then go to Segments here, if I click on 4, 4, 4, you can actually see that the cube is now divided in a bit more different kinds of segments. So if you want to start modeling with 3D, you have like an Object, and then you click on here, or you press C on your keyboard. Oh damn, you're from Australia, damn. Yeah, you should probably go to sleep, man. Have a good night. So yeah, we're in, I'm gonna go click on the points mode here, and then I'm gonna grab some of the outer points here. So I just grab these ones. And now I can move these around and create some like different kinds of stuff, of art things with them. And drag these in a bit more. And this is mainly how you start modeling. I'll show you. This is kind of something that I'm new to as well. But I've been working with. I tried to explore like how to make a Gundam, like a robot mech, and I think it's this one. I tried to make like this shoulder pad, which took me a while, but here I am. And then yeah, so basically how you can do this stuff like this is, let's just go back to the other one. So another thing you can do is just have this cube. If you want to have another face here, let's go to right click, and it will bring up this tool menu. And something that's getting used a lot is extrude. So what this does is, let me click and drag. It basically lets you add like faces, or it takes one polygon and it's just, yeah, it's literally extruding them. So let's just see what happens if we select these and drag them in. You can get this cool. So yeah, this is really how you like model easily, and then you can just move this one up like so, and then yeah, that's really how you start like these really more complicated shapes. It's 1:30 a.m. in India. Sweet. Oh, that's cool. Perfectly chopped. It's weird because it's almost 10 o'clock now for me in the Netherlands. It's so cool that I literally have people watching from all over the world. Oh, I know you from Discord, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember, man. I didn't recognize your YouTube handle. I'm still afraid to say it out loud, so I won't get demonetized. So yeah, let's just see what we can do with this. Also, let's just I don't know, holding shift and giving it a twist, and then you can get some really like complicated artworks with him. So let's make a chrome material, and then so I'm gonna go lower the Fong angle on this, if that's possible. I don't think it's I don't think I need to. So yeah, now I'm gonna add a sky object, and then load in a sky HDRI. I'm gonna load in an actual like nice like blue field. Let's see. I think yeah, man, there's a Discord. Let me just type the link to it in the YouTube chat. You should be able to get on the Discord by that link. So yeah, let's just add this super nice meadow. Takes a while to load, I guess. Oh right, sorry, we're doing it in the color tab, so we have to copy the shader, go to luminance, and then paste the shader, so now it'll actually change, and then we'll drag it into the sky here. Go to tags, compositing, let's turn off seeing by camera, and then go to here, and then we'll add like these samples. With ambient occlusion, turn this to 128, and then go to global illumination, go to high, and see what happens if we render this. I feel like it should be like some cool artwork thing. What's up, Tees? How are you? I'm actually, after this render, I think I'm gonna turn the live stream off for now. But yeah, if you guys are into the live stream, I would probably want to take it to a next level and do weekly, so we can have a bit more fun and do this on a regular basis, hang out, and then like do more complicated stuff every week, teach you guys a bit better. So yeah, Jake, it kind of depends, because I started with Blender as well at school, but that was more for like 3D printing and stuff. But yeah, I it was a bit more complicated to start learning in Blender than it was in Cinema 4D. So, but now I think because I learned a bit more in Cinema 4D, if I would go back to Blender right now, I think Blender would make a bit more sense to me, I guess. So yeah. So okay, guys, let's just do it. Let's do a weekly stream for now. Sian, I appreciate you trying to help, but yeah, I mean, if you would like wanted to send over, could you do it like outside of the stream? Because otherwise, like, if you people sending illegal stuff through the stream chat, you know, and I wouldn't really appreciate that. So if you I don't condone the sharing, but if you want to do it, you should do it outside of the stream chat. I hope that's okay. So I don't want to bother you, but yeah, I would like to keep my chat clean from this. You know, I want my hands to be clean. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching the stream. Also, it's crazy that there's so many people that started watching here. Welcome to the channel. Check it out. I have a lot of tutorials, live streams. I'm gonna do more on music production and clothing soon as well. Join us on Discord if you want to hang out a bit more, and then yeah, follow us on Instagram to join the Creatober challenge. And I'll see you guys hopefully in the next video. And again, thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Bye.